I have to load the car. I gotta go take all my rods and reels and load the car, because in the morning I'm gonna do a rod and reel arsenal video. The reason why is because ever since I started this channel back in January, in every video that I do, I see you guys in the comments saying, hey, will you do a rod and reel arsenal video? Or hey, what rod is that? Or what reel is that? So I've decided to do that. But being the fact that I just got off of work, I figured I might as well show you the personal protective equipment that I have to wear while I am at work. I mean, I operate 5 and 10 ton overhead cranes in a steel mill. Basically, my job is to move steel to the desired location, or to the next job, or the next operation. The personal protective equipment that I wear is a hard hat, safety glasses, earplugs, which I don't have any on me because I don't get them until I go into the plant for work, and also steel toe boots to protect my feet, because if a steel tube or anything drops onto your feet and you're not wearing steel toe boots, it's gonna break your foot. I just kind of wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about that, as to why I always say I work 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, or I'm tired from work. But anyway, I will see you guys in the morning. What a mess. What is going on, you guys? All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you what all of the rods and reels are. I might talk about some of the things I like to use it, or some of the techniques I like to do with the rod, but I don't want to make the video too long. I'm gonna start off with my spinning rod and reel. This is the Shimano Stratic CI4 Plus, the 2nd generation, and I have it on a 7-foot St. Croix Triumph. On this rod, I like to use light baits, rooster tails, a drop shot, even though a drop shot is better on a medium light rod, but I will do it on this. But anyway, this is the rod that I will use when I'm using really light baits, live bait, or anything like that. Up next is my frog rod. This is a 7'4" heavy. It's a St. Croix Bass X. And I do have the Shimano Antares DC on this rod. I'll use this heavy for frogging the majority of the time. Frogging or flipping and pitching once in a while. And now you go to the 7'1" G-Loomis NRX. Now this is a G-Loomis heavy, so the ratings are going to be different than a normal heavy. For instance, this is a 5/16 to a 3/4 ounce, and it's 14 to 20 pound test on the specifications. And I have a Shimano Chronarch, the high-speed reel, the 7/6 on this rod. Next, you have a 7'1" St. Croix Legend Tournament with a Shimano Sitka. And the Sitka is the 7/2-to-1 reel. A lot of the time, I will use this medium heavy for top water, like a whopper plopper, a heavy jig, a heavy spinnerbait. This rod is actually a good all-purpose rod, and this reel for $150 works well for a lot of applications. Next, you will go on to a G-Loomis, another NRX, except this is a medium heavy, okay? And it is paired with a Shimano Metanium in the 6/2-to-1 gear ratio reel. Right now I have a spinnerbait tied on, but I will use this for a lot of things. A Texas rig, a Carolina rig, a jig, a spinnerbait, a Kitech on a swim bait hook. Now, you have a 7-foot G-Loomis IMX. It's a 7-foot medium heavy, and it is paired with a 6.2-to-1 Shimano Bantam. And right now, I have a jig tied on. A lot of the times, I will use this rod for flipping jigs, casting jigs, swim jigs. I'll do a lot of my jigs on medium heavy rods with a fast action, okay? And then once in a while, you know, like I've said, I'll also use this with a spinnerbait, stuff like that. That wasn't good. That wasn't good. You go to the 7-foot St. Croix Avid X with a Shimano Casitas 6.2-to-1. Again, another all-purpose rod. Oh yeah, but I forgot. These St. Croix rods, the 7-foot medium heavy and the 7'1" medium heavy, they're rated up to 1 ounce, but they are great for your swim baits, your whopper ploppers, heavier baits like that with fluorocarbon, they work great with. And by the way, braid will go through these guides very nicely. I'm not going in any particular order here, and I do have a couple things to explain that I will get to in a minute. Wow, dude, I have to be careful. Up next, you have a 7'1" Gander Mountain angler bass rod. This is a medium power, moderate action rod, okay? Let me show you the tip on a moderate. See that? I will use this rod for square bill crankbaits, medium diving crankbaits, lipless crankbaits, light poppers, stuff like that, okay? And of course, it is paired with a Shimano Curado, not the MGL, this is the CI4, just like the other one, except this is in the 6.2-to-1 gear ratio, okay? And these moderate, these medium power, moderate action moderate action rods are actually also really good for like a weightless Senko, a 1/4 ounce to a 3/8 Rapala, stuff like that. A 6'6" G-Loomis E6X with a Shimano Curado 70. But if you look at the spool on the Curado 70, it is almost a 50 size, okay? I like to use this reel for light line. 10-pound test, 12-pound test, 14-pound fluorocarbon. This reel is really good for your crankbaits, your shaky heads, a light Texas rig. It's not going to hold a lot of line in a bigger diameter. It is going to be great for your lighter lines, as I said. And by the way, this 6'6" rod, it's a medium power, fast action. Okay, next on the list, 7'1" St. Croix Mojo Bass with a Shimano Casitas in the 7.2-to-1. Okay, right now I have a hook for a swim bait tied on, but I also do like to use this medium for topwater lures. It casts good, it's sensitive, it's strong, it's not too light. And by the way, for the price, I do love these Casitas reels, especially for how they perform. And now we move on to the 6'8" Jason Christie Falcon rod that I got at Walmart. Picked this rod up for $90 with a Shimano Canon in the 6.2-to-1. Right now I just have a hook tied on, a 3/0 EWG hook. This rod, it's a medium power, medium fast action rod, okay? It's gonna be really good for spinnerbaits, crankbaits, something where you need backbone in the rod, but also a good tip. Last but least, you have a 13 fishing Omen Black, a 7'1" medium heavy with a Shimano Bantam in the 7.4-to-1 gear ratio. Okay, right now I have a Texas rig tied onto here. I do have 2 other spinning rods that I left at home. For fluorocarbon, I like Sunline Sniper and Seaguar Invisex. And I've recently been experimenting with P-Line Tactical Fluorocarbon. For monofilament, I like Suffix in the Pro Mix, and either the Trilene Trans Optic or the Trilene Extra Smooth. For braided line, I like the original Power Pro. I also like the Power Pro Super Slick and the Power Pro Max Quattro. If I am using just about any kind of moving bait, anything like a crankbait, a spinner bait, a swim jig, a jerk bait, I am going to use a 6 gear ratio reel. And that is anything that is going to be 23 to 26 inches per turn, okay? Anytime I'm going to flip a jig or drag a Texas rig or fish the bottom, anytime like that, I am going to use a reel that is a high-speed reel. And to me, that is going to be anything like 30 inches per turn and higher. You're probably wondering, why is the weight rating or the line specification, why is it different? Well, G-Loomis has a different standard, okay? This is their 7'1" heavy jig and worm casting rod, okay? But you'll notice that the lure weight is 5/16 to 3/4 of an ounce. And the line recommendation is 14 to 20 pound test. Each company, each rod manufacturer is going to have a different lure weight rating and line rating. And it's also going to, another thing that is going to go into it is breaking strength per diameter for the different brand of line that you have. If you guys have any questions, comments, or thoughts, do not hesitate to leave that in the section below. If you have any questions about any of the Shimano reels or any of the rods. I also noticed last night when I was reading through some of the comments and seeing what you guys had to say, now I am at over 4,000 subscribers just from January to now. You know, that's really all I can ask for. That's awesome. It's because of you guys. Now, once in a while, I might ask you, to hit the like button if you enjoyed, or subscribe if you're new, blah, blah, blah. As of right now, I don't have an upload schedule. I post videos whenever I can, and I am only a part-time YouTuber. But anyway, enough of all that. That is going to be it for me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And let me know in the comments, did you like the rod and reel arsenal? Because, I didn't want to spend too much time on it, so that is why I did it this way. Again, thank you so much. And I am signing off for the day.